Okay, this is a cool thing. I'm excited about sharing this. This is a repository. I have it in the file tools organization called Directory Git Scanner. And it does just that. It allows you to define a directory. You can put your hard drive, and it will scan your entire hard drive, look for all the folders that are Git repositories, and then summarize what's going on with those Git repositories in a CSV file. So it'll help you locate all your Git repositories across your entire file system. If you are an engineer or coder and you've been just kind of willy-nilly downloading repositories, and some are in your Google Drive and some are in like a dedicated code folder, and it's hard to like keep Git repositories organized, and this is a step in the right direction. If you want to kind of keep things nice and organized, one thing about Mac Finder, if you're on a Mac, is it has great search functionality if you like learn how to use it. Okay, you can search and then you can click this extra menu that has this drop down, and then you can search by a file type. And so there are images and there are folders, but there's no Git folder. Like a Git folder is just a folder that has, some special files for version control inside the folder. And so, yeah, it's like hard to get a handle on all these things. It's hard. You can't like do a search for that too. I guess you could do a search for like a git ignore file or something, but it's just not great. And so I find it hard to track what's going on with all my Git repositories. One option is to use tags. You could manually start tagging all your Git repositories with Mac Finder tags, but that always kind of breaks down because you're always kind of like quickly working on a project and then don't do that, and then you don't have a full inventory. And so this is a simple bash script that allows you to just define a folder here, run it, and it will output all of your repositories wherever you want into a CSV. You open it in Google Sheets or something like that. And so just as an example, I'll just run it here. So I have right here many folders. I know that these are 3 Git repositories, just as an example. Let's add some like standard repos in here that are not Git repositories, so we can see that it only is going to grab Git, and then we can just run this puppy, and it's a bash script, so it's just bash, and then you type bash and then just drag this puppy in there and wait, and there's a little feedback in there and it shows you what it gets. And there's the file right there, right? You can change the file. That we could save that on our desktop here. Here's the repository. So let's open this up. I started using this cool CSV tool called Modern CSV that makes opening CSV so great. So, okay, that's not the one we want. That was some demo data. Here is the output that we just got, and we can see it has the base directory name. It has like more data than you would need, so maybe it's over-inclusive. First commit year, this is really nice. You can quickly sort all your repositories by year. Latest commit, which is great. Your remote, so this is great if you like have a lot of repositories and maybe some of these are outdated remotes. GitHub does forward those remotes, so you normally don't have to worry about those, but it's possible you could run a script that checks the validity of these links. So the other thing is it has a long value for the creation date, and this is great to use as like a unique ID, so that if you scan your directory again, but maybe a base directory name has changed, you can use this ID to ascertain, whether it's the same thing and overwrite the old version, which is also helpful too. Um, so another thing that you can do is basically take this somewhere else and establish this as a dedicated like repo log and just drag this in there. You could make this, you could make this a Git repository. So we could drag this in here and we'll navigate here and then we'll initiate this as its own repository, which would be great. Then we'll change the location that it gets saved to. You could just keep that on your desktop as a log. And then you could track changes if you like accidentally delete something, or if you want to just see like the new repositories that you downloaded that week. It's a good way to do that. So here we go. We'll commit this, and now we have a repo log that we just created. And over time, it will just log all the changes to all of our repository work. I didn't point it out, but you can see that in that in the CSV that we've now moved, it only picked up 3 files. Oh, it only picked up. We don't want it to Excel. Excel is so annoying for opening up CSVs. So there we go. It only tracked these 3 files, right? That makes sense because these were not Git repositories. But as a bonus, there's a non-repos.sh file here. And if we run this puppy, we'll run this across the same directory. And we'll put this in the repo log too. And we'll make the mistake of trying to open it in Excel again. Here we go. This is simpler output, but we can see that this shows us the directories in that folder that aren't repositories. This is helpful if you like are trying to maintain a code folder, and sometimes you'll just create a folder and you'll write something in there, but it's not under version control, and then again, because Finder doesn't make it easy to do this, you'll have a hard time remembering what do I have under version control and what do I not have under version control. So if you do have a dedicated code folder, this helps you kind of like create a to-do list maybe of like, was this a throwaway temporary project? Should I delete this? Or should I clean this up and put it on GitHub to share with my friends? Or, should I keep developing this? So, it goes in both directions here to help you kind of wrangle your code on your machine. So I should note that there are some GUIs that will do a scan. Actually, I think there's only one. It's called SourceTree. I use GitHub Desktop for everything, but I've tried some of the other GUIs out. And SourceTree was the only one that I found in my test that will do something like this, where it will let you scan a folder. And then it will show you just the Git repositories that are in there to allow you to add them to this dashboard that they have, which is nice. And I think they should all do that, but they don't. And also, SourceTree might do that, but it doesn't export it to this really nice CSV that has all the data in a really portable, durable format, like first commit date and all that you just saw. So I still think that this bash script is kind of unique and useful. I don't see a lot of overlap with other apps. So